Welcome to the Fanatic podcast. Please remain seated while the podcasters.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ScareLA 2015. We are your gateway drug to Halloween. Have a fantastic weekend, kids.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 5th episode of the Fanatic podcast, and we're talking everything Scare LA.
That's right, Gabe. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We can't wait to tell you everything that we experienced during Scare LA, California's #1 Halloween convention.
Oh, man, it was so much fun, and I don't know about you, but I'm dead tired.
Oh, man. Oh, you know what that calls for? That calls for a knee slapper right there.
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, I pretty much deserve that, but I mean, you know, this whole weekend was just so much fun, too much fun to really, like, there was just so much.
I know.
There was so much that you couldn't do everything, and that's saying something, you know?
I know, we're going to have a really hard time trying to wrap this all up in 1 hour, so we're going to do our best to try to encapsulate what we went through during our Scare LA experience the best we can.
There was frights and fun and scares and
Booths
makeup
and costumes and
haunts and
everything.
theme parks. It was everything that anybody would want in a Halloween convention. It was just too much.
It was pretty crazy, man. Tell me, what was your favorite part about Scare LA, man? If you had to pick one, I know it's hard, but if you just had to pick one thing that kind of stood out to you, what was it?
You know, for me personally, and it's not going to be, you know, a thing you could buy. It's not going to be a panel that I saw. For me, the most coolest thing that happened at Scare LA, or rather, the thing that I liked the most, was running into people who I admire and them knowing who I was because of what we're doing here right now. They had seen either the buttons we were passing out and knew who the Park Fanatics were, or they listened to the podcast and they liked the podcast. You know, just and everyone was just so nice.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about in particular for me is I went to Jeff Tucker. We talk about Jeff all the time on the show. 91 Reasons podcast, amazing podcast. Got to listen to it. I went to his booth and I bought a couple time boxes from him. My fiance Nikki bought a book from him. I know that you bought all 3 of the books when we were there.
I couldn't resist. I really like the guy.
I was able to give him like our buttons, and he repped it for us, and he quoted the show, and I freaked out.
He quoted our show. That
he
is
quoted
just
you
crazy.
In particular, Gary.
I
I said something dorky like I normally do, and he said, "Wait for it, knee slapper." He said that, and I freaked out. And he's like, "Dude, I listened to the show and I like your show. I'm a fan."
It's
And
pretty
to me,
crazy, isn't it?
To me, that says so much about him and the community, because as well, we ran into Doug Barnes. Doug Barnes from the Season Pass podcast. We talk about them all the time too. They were our like inspiration for this whole thing.
Definitely.
And he was the nicest guy. Robert Coker, so nice. Wanted to just chat with us. You know,
really nice
just
guy.
the welcoming feeling that was given to me by everybody. There's not a competition here. We're not trying to gain popularity over anybody else, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So it just was, that was my thing. Was everybody being so gosh dang cool. And I have to say thanks to Jeff Tucker and Robert Coker and Doug Barnes and everyone else that we met that was just so absolutely awesome.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. Those guys are so nice. And it was such a blast meeting not only our inspiration and the people that have been doing this for years and setting goals for us, but, you know, to have them come and recognize us, that was just an awe-inspiring moment for sure, man.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of other people who are out on the internet that we saw too, like Jeff. We saw Jeff from Disney Coast to Coast.
Yeah,
we saw Tim
Jeff
from
DePauli.
Knott's Network.
That's
you know,
right,
a whole
Knott's
bunch
Network. We saw SoCal Horror. We saw
Oh, shout out to them, SoCal Horror. Those guys rock.
Yeah, USH Today. We saw Park Journey for just a quarter of a second. We saw tons of people.
We knew where they were based on their periscopes.
Yeah, we kept seeing people tweeting things, and we're like, oh, they're sitting right over there. That guy's right up here.
He's walking right by us right now.
Yeah, it was funny. Gabe here ended up in the background of a couple tweets of some people. So, keep an eye out. You'll see us in the background of some things. It'll happen for sure.
Yeah,
But
we were all over the place this weekend, so I wouldn't deny the fact that we were in a whole bunch of people's photos.
oh yeah. So let's get right into it, Gabe. We have three things that we're really going to talk about today, and that's panels, that's the exhibition floor and the booths, and then the mini haunts and the interactive experiences that they have.
Yeah, let's start off with the panels, right?
Yeah, let's start with those panels. So I know that they started off the weekend with the Hatbox Ghost panel.
They started off with that, and then they also had Queen Mary the same day. Oh, rather, sorry, Queen Mary was the next day.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights was the last one on Saturday. Not Scary Farm was on Sunday as well with Queen Mary. And I don't know about you, but I know that people are dying to know what's happening at Not Scary Farm this year. So I think that's the granddaddy of them all. I think that should take precedence. I think that should come first.
All right, let's do it, man. And you know what? How do you feel about what they released? It wasn't exactly everything we were expecting, was it?
Okay, I'm sad because they're going to release everything on August 26th.
Yeah.
Well, at least the rest of everything. That's a Wednesday. I can't go. I work.
Don't worry, Gabe. I got you covered. I'll be there repping us. Don't you worry.
One half of the Park Fanatics will be there, at least seeing everything, and I'm very jealous.
That's the thing. We're pretty good about splitting us up and getting us to all the events.
Pretty much, and that's good. Things that I can't get to, you could go to, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
August 26th, they're going to be releasing some stuff, but they did release at least one new maze at this this event at ScareLA, and then they
one
also
new maze, and then kind of talked about the returning mazes, which some of them really have a lot of new things being incorporated into them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, I guess they're kind of like plussing them up and making them a little bit better instead of just, doing the same thing every year over and over.
It's like Walt Disney liked to do. He liked to go into his into old rides and just plus them up, as he liked to say.
Yeah.
So, let's get it started. The first thing that they were talking about, Jeff was all worried because he didn't have any bumpers for all of his slides. So this accidentally popped up randomly, but it was the first thing everyone saw, and everyone freaked out. The Not Scary Farm Pass is back.
That's right. We got the Not Scary Farm Pass, and not only that, but it's the same price as it was last year.
Woo! Not more expensive, which everyone thought was going to happen.
Now, this year they said that for season pass holders, it's also $10 off, so it's only $70 if you're a season pass holder.
Yes.
So, did they do that last year?
I don't remember, to be 100% honest. I think they may have done it for a very short period of time because I know that the pass... No, you know what? They didn't. Because... Oh, wait, no, they did.
Yes, no, yes, no.
In my own head.
They
did, because originally when the pass was first introduced, it was only for pass holders. So it was a certain set price. And then way down the line, then they said, oh, we're allowing everybody to get it, but then it's this much more. So originally it was cheaper for pass holders, but that was because it was only available to pass holders.
I get you. So on top of the pass coming back, they also have revealed that the parking will be included if you have the season pass parking already.
Yeah, and you could add parking to the Scary Farm Pass too.
For only what, $60 is it?
Yeah, it was like $60, and if you're going to Scary Farm
3 times,
like
you're
every
covered.
Weekend,
like we will be.
Yeah, like we will be. It's $20 to park. $20 times how many weeks there are? There's like 6 weeks. That's $120
easily. So if you go at least 3 times, you're covered. So that's worth it. I think that's cool. And then on top of that, they told us, I think, what was it, 5 mazes officially that are going to be at Not Scary Farm this year.
Way wrong, Garrett. The Haunt Fanatic is coming at you.
Oh.
11 mazes, 5 skeleton key rooms.
Oh, I was talking about what they released this presentation at ScareLA, but we got 11.
I digress.
So we got 11 total mazes this year at Not Scary Farm. That's the most out of any of the haunt attractions in California. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the most mazes that any attraction has.
That's awesome. Yeah, they hold that. And how many shows are they going to bring us back this
Two
year?
shows.
Awesome. We got a little bit of a inside scoop on what the show is going to be. At least one of the shows, right?
One. Well, I mean, we know that one of the shows is a hanging. That thing ain't going nowhere.
No way. No way.
No way, Jose. And the big surprise of the panel was that Elvira was actually there to reveal that she's coming back to the farm to have another year and another show called Asylum.
Asylum, and it looks so cool. Apparently, they're going to really be stepping up their game this year with this new show. And you know, if you are already an Elvira fan, which there's got to be tons of them out there, this show should blow you out of the water.
Yeah, so on their slide, it says that it's a brand new show with explosive dance performances, extreme acrobatics, and pyrotechnics.
Woo!
So, I mean, it's everything that you've come to know and love from a Not Scary Farm show.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming that it's going to be great, just like every other one that they've had.
Yeah, they're really good about that, aren't they? They put on good shows at Knott's. I love that.
Oh, no, they do fantastic jobs at the shows.
They got Disney right up the road. They got to keep on their game, you know, and they really do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, crap. One thing that we totally skipped was no longer are they really going with the Camp Spooky. Now it's a whole park encompassed within it. So now it's becoming Not Spooky Farm.
Not spooky
So they want to
fun.
really bring the Halloween season to the park in its entirety, as opposed to just keeping it within the area of Camp Spooky for the kids. So it's going to be park wide. And I think that's a
Kid-friendly
great
sort
idea.
of stuff. Yeah, and they're really gonna, you know, incorporate the kids into that. They have at least one maze that's gonna be kid friendly. Is that right?
Yeah, one maze that's over going to be in Camp Spooky or Camp Snoopy. I don't know if they're still
Spooky
calling it Camp Spooky.
So that's very cool. So we got the passes, we got the parking, we got Camp Spooky, and then on top of all that, we got some new mazes. Gabe, why
We
don't
have
you?
new mazes, returning mazes, and some inside scoop that I'm pretty sure Gus Kruger didn't mean to say, or he rather hinted at and alluded at and said stuff. So we're going to cover that right now. Let's start with the new maze. This was everyone's talking about. This is what people want to know.
Yep.
And it's a new maze called The Dead of Winter.
The Dead
So-
of Winter.
What that is, their slide said, escape the icy grasp of the Snow Queen. Armies of ravenous, beastly, resurrected Viking warriors, highly contrasted maze, first of its kind at Not Scary Farm, with spine-chilling skeleton key room. So that's one of the 5 skeleton key rooms that they're promising.
That's going to be a really good one. And you know what was funny is that I think it was Greg from Park Journey raised his hand and he asked, this kind of looks like a certain Disney princess. And
Yeah, no, everyone. Well, actually, first, I think my mind immediately went to Game of Thrones.
that's what I thought too. It totally looked like the ice wall from the Game of Thrones. It looked exactly like the setup they had.
Yeah, and then my mind, when I saw like icy Snow Queen, I'm like, Frozen?
Yeah, Frozen. She's coming
No,
and
but-
working her way into everything.
Gus had a really good answer to that question, and it was quite funny. You know, this one's quite interesting. The one thing that's different about this maze that I noticed, and I didn't really get a chance to ask the question, is that its color palette is extremely different than most of the mazes that you'll see at Not Scary Farm. Most of the color palettes are blacks, browns, dark reds,
This
greens, like dark colors.
And this one's just absolutely stark white. And this is kind of a risky move for them because they haven't really branched into that, overwhelmingly bright color.
Yeah, and for me at least, I don't know if it's necessarily me or just human nature, but when you see white, I mean, you don't necessarily get scared. It's not something scary that you think about. Whenever people talk about scary things, it's always like, what's lurking in the dark? The dark, not bright. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but I think they're really going to have some fun things, fun elements that they can play with. I know they'll be cranking up the AC and getting people with snow camouflage and whatnot. It's going to be really interesting for sure.
Which, by the way, that was one of the things that was kind of alluded to that Gus said, because somebody asked, is it going to be cold?
It better be
And he
cold.
kind of alluded to the fact that it's going to be in Boardwalk Ballroom.
Oh, yeah, I think they
So
did say that, didn't
that's that location.
they? Okay. Yeah, no.
And I'm excited to see this. I know it's something extremely different, and I like when Knott's takes risks. I like it when they try to do something completely different that's not necessarily in their comfort zone. So I'm
Totally.
really excited to see what they do with this and see all the new stuff that they have for us planned there. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, since that's in Boardwalk Ballroom, what was in Boardwalk Ballroom last year? Do you know, Garrett?
I don't know, Gabe. Tell me.
Trapped was in there, which
Oh,
means
no.
Trapped is not coming back.
Oh, no. No more trapped. No more upcharge attractions at all.
That is correct. They said that there's not going to be a single upcharge attraction.
Which could be good for the general public. I mean, a lot of people don't want to come and spend an extra $60 on top of the price of a regular admission ticket.
I guess the only thing that I have a problem with is the fact that it allowed for a little bit of control of crowds in a sense, because
Totally.
that's kind of what upcharges do in the first place. It's not really about money gouging or trying
Yeah.
to get money out of people. It's about crowd control.
Yeah, secluding yourself from the tremendous crowds, especially at Scary Farm, where it can get pretty out of control. It's nice to be able to pay that extra charge and get yourself into a secluded, self-centered experience.
Exactly. And I'm not going to reveal who said this to me. I'm not going to say when they said this to me. I'm not going to reveal where they were in the convention, but I was told that there might be another interactive experience, not necessarily along the lines of Trapped, but something that's not an upcharge, but is still interactive. I don't know. They were extremely vague. Then they
So,
ran away really fast into the fog.
so they're not going to make you drink warm pee this year. Is that right?
No, they're not going to make you drink warm pee. That
Okay.
Oh God, I just gagged.
I know someone was telling me, oh, it's only hot vinegar, and I was like, it doesn't matter. If they're selling it as hot pee, it's hot pee.
Exactly, apple cider vinegar. If someone
Oh,
hands it to you and says, "Hey, it's pee," then it's pee. It's exactly what you said.
oh, I just gagged. Oh.
No, see, it's gross. You
No.
don't even have to have it in there with you when you're thinking about it. Every time I tell the story, I start gagging.
Oh, I know.
Because
Never mind.
the
That's
first,
probably that's got to be one of the reasons they got rid of Trapped is because so many people were throwing up from the
well,
drinking the
because the
pee.
freaking guy in there was like, "Hey, I'm gonna put salt in it," and then
Oh.
everyone threw up.
Oh.
But like the first time I went through, it wasn't warm. He didn't fill the cup up, and then the second time I went through Trapped, he filled the cup to the brim.
That's
To the
gross.
brim, and it was warm, and it took more than one go. Oh God!
Oh no. Okay, we got to move past this. I'm sorry.
Okay,
No more.
We're moving
No
past.
more hot pee.
This is a terrible idea. This is a
Uh,
horrible idea.
Okay, so that pretty much wraps up what's going on. We also had a new revamp of an older maze. Is that right? They brought some werewolves to one of our favorites.
Yeah, so they're bringing back Gunslinger's Grave, but the new title to this is called Gunslinger's Grave: A Blood Moon Rises. And they had a really cool little video trailer for this
Mm-hmm.
showing how the Red Hand Gang isn't the simplest thing that's happening right now. There's a lot more things at work, Gunslinger. I got into it.
You really
And
did,
so
yeah.
there's going to be werewolves in this maze now, and I think that's kind of a smart little transition to bring freshness to this maze.
So I was talking to your friend Chase about what they could do with one of the mazes, and we were jokingly saying that they should pull the vampires out of Dominion and put in some sexy werewolves, and we'll just call it a Twilight maze and be done with it.
I would dig that because everybody knows how I feel about Dominion, but also if they included that within Infected so I could shoot them, that would be way better.
Totally. But hey, at least they put the werewolves into something this year, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to
yeah.
see that for sure.
It's been a while since werewolves have been included in any maze at Scary Farm.
Totally.
And on to the next one. I don't think anybody's surprised by this, but Tooth Fairy is coming back
Of course.
to for another year of pulling teeth and everything under the sun.
Yeah, definitely. And they got a nice ending, a new ending to that maze. So if you're a big fan of the gory Tooth Fairy, then you should be looking forward to a new ending at the maze this year.
Yes, and then also by overwhelming demand, Infected has returned
Of course.
for a second year.
That's never gonna. Well, it might later, but for right now, Infected is here to stay. Wildly popular last year, and now they've decided to bring it back pretty much exactly the same, except I hear it's twice as long this year.
Twice as long. From the panel that I understood, John Cook said that he was going to make it only one side
Uh-huh.
this year. They're going to try to really amp up the theming and the line so that it really gets like that feeling set from the get go that you're in the zombie apocalypse and you're there to battle them out. They're going to try to include better guns, a lot better
New guns. That's what they said.
They were a little faulty last year. Did you encounter that?
I didn't actually, but the new guns are supposed to be a little bit better. They're supposed to be more like video game guns, from what I've heard, and they decided that they needed to do something about the weapon system from last year,
And then they also said there's going to be more hordes of zombies,
which is good.
a lot more.
And they're going to be introducing the teams in at different times, even though it's the same track that they'll be going along. They'll be introducing you at different times, and so it'll be a little bit of a varied experience for everyone.
Yeah, and then also one other thing that he said was that I don't remember quite exactly if he said like, "Oh, this is a for sure," but something about a respawn point. So if you die, you have to run to the respawn point like a video game,
Just like a video game.
go back into the experience.
That sounds so cool. What a cool idea. The whole thing's going to be really cool.
Now, John Cook has a lot of great ideas, and I'm really, really excited about that.
So that pretty much wraps us up for the Knots panel. I mean, we covered the passes, the mazes, the shows, and now I think we should maybe move on to the Halloween Horror Nights panel, Gabe. This is the one you were covering. So
Halloween Horror Nights came and blew up the frickin' stage, essentially.
Of course they did.
And announced that they're doing Halloween once again. The maze is called Halloween Michael Myers Comes Home.
He's home. Woo.
People flipped.
Oh, yeah. People love Michael Myers, man. That's like a cult following for sure. And I feel like a lot of regular people are cult followers of Michael Myers.
Well, I mean, like, Michael Myers has a cult following, but the movie Halloween in and out of itself is a piece of American pop culture that has just stood the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
And the original Halloween maze, because they've had it there before, was one of the biggest, most popular mazes that they've had. One of the highest rated mazes they've had.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, people loved it. Loved it. And
No.
I think one of the reasons why they're bringing it back is because Orlando had it last year, and it was such a success again that they want to come back and really plus up what they've done before and make things a lot better.
Give us a chance to have a little bit of the Michael Myers love, for God's sakes, right?
Yeah, no, right?
We need some stuff over here, man. Halloween in Hollywood is important too.
Breathe, Garrett, breathe.
I'm sorry,
Garrett.
I'm just excited. This is an emotional time.
So yeah, they're bringing back Halloween. They're gonna try to introduce a couple of the new scenes in there. They're of course they're gonna make nods to the other Halloween movies. I always love it when Murdy gives a nod to Halloween 3: Season of the Witch with the Silver Shamrock mask and then the commercial with the music. I always think that's really funny because a lot of people don't like that movie. But I think it's actually kind of good.
Yeah, it's got its moments for sure. So what else? So what else did they have going on at the Horror Nights panel?
Honestly, that was kind of the main thing that they were talking about. They didn't really mention anything else. They didn't release any scare zones, any of the other mazes. They had one of the executive producers of the Halloween movie, or rather, the son of one of the executive producers of the Halloween movie, there to talk about kind of the experience of the first movie and its filming.
For sure. That's kind of cool.
Other than that, it was really was around that. They gave out a really big prize to somebody who knew the answer to this question he asked. And in my mind, he asked a question. I was like, I don't know.
For sure.
Let's see if you know it, Garrett, because I don't think I asked you this. I don't think I told you this, have I?
What? No.
So the prize was 4 front of the line passes to Halloween Horror Nights with a day lights on maze tour with John Murdy and Chris Williams. It could have been through
Wow.
Halloween or anything else that they chose. But
Wow.
the question was, what is Michael Myers' middle name?
Oh. Is it
Time's up.
Michael? So it's Michael Myers?
No,
That's
it's
my
not
guess.
Michael Myers.
I mean, that's about as close as I could get.
Actually, his middle name is Audrey.
Audrey? Really?
I would have never guessed that in a bajillion years.
No, that's pretty funny.
That guy won a massive prize, and good for him. I mean,
Yeah.
he stood up and raised his hands and jumped as high as he
Oh my
could.
god, I know this one. I know this one. Pick
Exactly.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was really the only thing that they were announcing.
Wow.
And since the con ended, I was able to hear of some rumors.
Ooh, rumors.
Okay, people, as always, take this with a grain of salt and a shot of penicillin, because who knows if these are true or not. I have no clue. But I do have to say that the rumor that we heard before of Trap not coming back ended up being true.
So, you
Just
know,
throw that out there, people.
we're a little bit of psychic over here at the Park Fanatics. So, if we say it, it might come true.
Purple, I know it. Are you wearing purple?
I am wearing purple.
Ah!
Ah! How did you know?
So, the two rumors was that there's going to be no VIP experience this year.
Nope.
They're not going to have the extra backlot experience or like the buffet.
Nope.
I don't know why. That's all I've heard was that they're not going to incorporate that this year.
Because that had a whole extra thing attached to it, didn't it? Like where they took you guys out, just the VIP group, and they released you in like a field and something caught on fire, right?
That was when they did it Insidious and they had like
Insidious,
digital
that's
mapping
it.
projection onto a building and all this stuff, and it was super cool.
Yeah.
But then from what I heard last year, there was no extra special thing. It was just the food and then unlimited access to the rides and lines for the mazes,
kind of stupid.
which
Maybe
was
they
a little weird.
maybe they found that it was just too expensive or something, and it was costing more than it was supposed to be or something. But whatever the reason,
not
they
enough people
decided to
doing
do it. What?
Or not enough people were doing it.
Yeah, totally. That's probably what ended up happening. So, with the $80 front of the line pass and you get one trip through each maze, I mean, that's pretty much all you're going to end up doing anyways if you were to go to one of these events. So, that's good enough, right?
It's not bad. And, I know that we'll have a show later on down the line about, like, what to do when you go to a theme park Halloween event and how to maximize your fun. But, you could definitely enjoy the event with the front of the line pass.
Totally.
Can't say too much about just going to Horror Nights with a regular pass because the lines get insane.
Yeah, I don't even know why people wait through them. Like 3 hours in a line for one
I don't
maze?
care what maze it is or what
No.
IP it is. It's never worth 3.5 to 4 hours.
Right? Totally. It's just insane.
Yeah,
So-
and then the other rumor that's flying around
what is it?
that they have a new theme for the Terror Tram.
Ooh, new
Rumor
Terror Tram.
running around is that it's The Purge,
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that it's not The Walking Dead again.
Thank God.
I like The Purge as a theme. We'll see how it plays out on the backlot.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I wonder what they got in store for that. If they,
I don't know. I know that Murdy said that he was bringing outside help, and this is the first time he's ever done that. So who knows? I mean, we could really get anything at this point. It
true.
really can just be anything. Who knows?
This is going to be an awesome year for Halloween Horror Nights. They've already released a lot of the mazes for this year, and then on top of that, they've got the Guillermo del Toro Crimson Peak maze. This is going to be a crazy popular year for them.
And we haven't even been able to talk about it on the show yet, but they announced that they're going to have the Jabberwockies, the world famous dance crew, have a show at Halloween Horror Nights, which is great because they were lacking that last year. Shows,
which are an important part of any theme park experience or Halloween experience.
they're crowd eaters.
Exactly. Get off of my lines. I need to get in these mazes. Go see that show over there. So that's cool,
Watch
though.
those people dance for a while.
Yeah. The Jabberwockies, that's cool. I'll catch that at least once or twice.
Definitely.
Well, very cool. So on top of the Halloween Horror Nights panel, Gabe, we also had a couple others that we visited. Dark Harbor. I was present for the Dark Harbor.
Tell me
Yeah.
what Queen Mary, where fear lives. What are they offering this year for us?
Well, they got a lot going on. They were talking mainly about their new maze Lullaby with Scary Mary, which was
Ah,
they had released that before the convention, but they went into depth about the story and the character. It was really cool. The whole panel was kind of like a show. It was led by the ring leader, which was one of their characters from many years. Right? They've had the ring leader for a long time now.
oh yeah.
So she came out and announced all of the panel or all of the mazes and all of the events that are going to be going on this year at Dark Harbor. It was like a show almost. She is so much fun to watch. I swear.
She's very charismatic.
Totally, totally. It was in itself just the panel with her was worth watching, let alone what they had told us. So they kind of went through. They listed off their 6 mazes that they have this year. They're gonna have B340, which is
Samuel the Savage.
Samuel the Savage. That's right. That looks like a pretty interesting one. They
Last
brought
year, that maze was probably one of the best. It was crazy, and it scared me really good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to checking that out. These 5 mazes are ones that they actually had last year, and they're touching a couple new things on them, but aside from that, it's pretty much going to stay the same. Soulmate, which is at the, as they said in the show, the ass of the ship, or the rear of the ship, but then she said ass.
That's Graceful Gale. I know this because I know their characters. These are fantastic characters.
Totally, totally. So they're going to be bringing her back. They have Dead Rise, which is going to be kind of like their zombie one. Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of a zombie-ish, it's like the shipwreck that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and all the dead people are walking around trying to get you. It's the one that's in those shipping containers, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I think you're right on that one. But then they
I
also
don't remember.
they also said that they're going to be having a Voodoo Village come back, Circus, which is a good one, and then of course their new maze Lullaby featuring Scary Mary, which they brought out Scary Mary on stage, and her and the ringleader led us along the storyline of Scary Mary and why she's there and why she's haunting the ship and why you have to walk through the maze. And it just was a really cool way to present the show. She is a terrifying looking little girl. I'm going to say that
Yes.
much. And
She's been at that event for a while. That
Yeah.
hasn't had her own maze,
exactly.
but you'd walk through that pool where supposedly that girl drowned,
Mhm.
which created the ghost of Scary Mary. And she would be skipping along the other side of the pool, and you'd see her just for like a split second.
Oh.
Then you look back and she's gone. And it's the creepiest thing because that's what happened to me. I was walking over there and I saw the character on the other side of the pool skipping, then just stare at you. And it's like,
Oh,
and
no.
it
No.
works because it's not you're shaking your head.
No,
No,
no.
you want nothing to do with it.
Nope. Little kids scare the crap out of me, man. Like little creepy kids. There's something about that innocence being corrupted into something evil. It's terrifying to me.
When I have kids, I'm gonna teach them to say really weird things and just come up to you and say really, really weird things, like, Garrett, the devil wants to see you today.
Coming
And
from a
just freak you out.
See, I know that you would preload your child with these things. I'd be like, no. Your dad is behind this. No, but that would
I
throw
want
some-
my child to be the ones that are like completely desensitized to the horror, so they could bring them to ScareLA when they're young and they can enjoy it and they could give
Dude.
high five to sliders and give hugs to devils and all this stuff.
Totally. And you know what? I saw a lot of kids there, and I was so surprised because they were in zombie makeup. One kid had like a morph suit on. I saw just a ton of different like random kid, outfits there, and they were just like rocking it, just like, their parents were.
I think there was only one kid that I saw that
Oh, really?
just flipped the F out. Like he walked in, he, 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 he walked in, looked, and just was like,
Nope.
nope.
Nope,
and
nope,
then
nope.
just turned around and tried to get away, and he couldn't.
Well, they
Poor
had
kid.
that booth. What was it? Right up front, Boneyard Effects, where they were painting up all the people and making them look like demons and monsters and stuff. Right when you walk into the exhibition hall, so that's something interesting to see for the first time when you're walking into this place.
Honestly, that might be the best thing for kids to see is the fact that it's a normal person getting makeup done. You know,
True.
sometimes that's the best thing for a kid to see in order to understand, okay, this isn't real. This isn't a real like monster catawampus thing chasing me. It's yelling moo. It's
Oh,
just a
oh.
person. You know? That's what I'm gonna try to tell my kids out of it.
What, moo?
No, not moo. Show them that this is just a normal
Moo.
person.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm gonna try to do.
Well, the catawampus would tell his kids something different, but it would, it'd probably
He
be
would just yell moo.
moo. So, that's pretty much what they shared. Oh, they also at Dark Harbor they released that they will have a new upcharge attraction. It is the Curse of Anubis Paintball Adventure, and it's gonna be pretty cool. It's a basically there's gonna be live actors. It's gonna be you get 50 rounds of paintballs for $10, and you actually have to go through and kind of fight these, kind of like in the style of Infected, where you go through and you're fighting demons of some sort. It's going to be like that, but with paintballs instead of some sort of other gun.
Interesting. That's
Yeah,
actually really, really interesting. That seems kind of out of character almost for Queen Mary, because you know it sounds like something that Haunted Hollywood Sports would do, or
yeah,
something. You know,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I know
yeah,
that they do something very, very similar. And last year's upcharge experience at Queen Mary was nothing like that.
yeah, yeah. So they said it was something new that they were trying, so that's good. Um,
Like I said before, I like things that are outside the realm of what's comfortable for the event. I like
true.
it when they really change things up, but this one is going to be the one that's going to have to prove me wrong
Yeah,
because in my mind, I'm thinking that it may not work out.
yeah. It might not, but again, it's the upcharge, so if it's popular or not, we may not see it next year, or even if we do, it's something you can always kind of skip.
Exactly. And but who are we kidding? You and I both know I'm going to do it.
Totally,
One,
me too.
because I love Halloween and this just happens to be something I want to do. But two, I want to bring back the information to the show so that it could involve everybody with us.
And I want to shoot some people with some paintball guns. I mean,
Just go play paintball.
I just want to go. Well,
What
yeah.
happened to my voice there? It was like, ah,
Let's
it's
go
like
play
went up.
paintball. It's the
Let's go
paintball.
play
It
paintball.
makes you emotional. Oh, don't shoot me! It's the paintball. It stings. Oh. So that pretty much wrapped up what Dark Harbor had going on. Really cool show. Uh, really cool way that they delivered the information with the ringleader. So I'd say definitely go check it out. They have a lot of specialty nights as well. They're going to be having costume nights. They have an LGBT night. They have a bunch of different things. So make sure you check their website because they'll be having different sort of things on different nights.
That's awesome. Hey,
Very
by the way, Knott's also has a ringleader. I'm pretty sure his name is Jeff Tucker.
I think so. I think so.
And
And then,
the
uh,
last panel that we were able to attend, correct?
yeah, which that was the Hatbox Ghost panel.
The stories and myth behind the most infamous ghost, the haunted mansion, the Hatbox Ghost himself. And this was a cool panel because it had Doug Barnes from the season pass moderating it.
Very
It
cool.
had Tony Baxter there, Disney Imagineer legend, and a few other different people. I know that there was some guys there who had done some artwork for the Hatbox Ghost, and then
Yeah.
the current Imagineer who brought
Actually
back the
designed.
Hatbox Ghost
The head Imagineer that actually designed it.
of
Very cool.
illusions.
Very cool. I wasn't really too interested in the hype that was going on when the Hatbox Ghost first came out. I was just kind of like, yeah, I've heard of him, but I wasn't really too intrigued. But after seeing this, stop making faces at me, Gabe.
I was about to yell blasphemy at you.
Blasphemy. But after hearing this panel and learning all of the little things that went into it and why it's such a special character, I really grew a lot of respect for the character and the whole story behind it.
No, yeah, and I think that was one of the coolest parts of the panel because I'm sure that everybody who went to go see this panel knows about the Hatbox Ghost. They know the history behind it. They know he wasn't there for 40 whatever years.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. It's the smaller, finer details from the people who worked it, people who were there,
Yeah.
that is what was really, really cool. Like, I didn't know that the metal plating that the original Hatbox Ghost stood on was still in the mansion itself,
Still
in the
bolted
same
there.
place. It never moved.
Yeah, the Imagineers say, "Oh yeah, we trip over that all the time."
Yeah, and then oh my god, I dorked out so hard. Tony Baxter had this little piece of paper in his pocket. So he said that when
Oh.
he was working at Disney, he would always say, like, I know that the Hatbox Ghost existed. It did. I know it did. There's no sign of it. And people would think that he started to make it up.
Yeah.
Like, that it actually never did exist. And then Tony was just crazy. But somebody found like a piece of paper or a card
It's a little card, a little index card.
for maintenance crews
Mhm.
and like a checklist of things to check. And on that list said Ghost Hatbox,
Yep.
which was awesome because that's physical proof.
That it was
Well,
there.
not really physical proof, but like I guess physical proof in the sense of it's on a card that the Hatbox Ghost did exist in the mansion at some point in time.
Totally, because besides a couple leaked images of the original artwork, there really wasn't much record of it. I believe that in the later years, a few pictures have popped up, but back then, when way before internet and everything, no one ever knew about that or saw that or anything. It was just folklore.
Exactly, and Tony pointed out a good like thing that when you're going through the mansion for the first time, there's just so much to take in that there's not one thing that you're particularly looking forward to say to yourself, "Oh, that's not going to be there next time, so I better remember that." Just
Yeah.
like when he went through it when he was told to, "Hey, do you want to go on this ride that's not open yet?" He went it a billion times, but he never once was like, "Oh, that guy's never going to be there again, so I better
Yeah.
know that he's there."
So cool that he had actually seen the original Hatbox Ghost, even though he didn't realize it was important at the time. He had actually seen it. I mean, that's one of the very few encounters that I've ever even heard of.
Yeah, and I enjoyed this panel thoroughly because of this insider information from
Totally.
like firsthand accounts of like these things. It was really fun to hear it,
Mhm.
and also to hear the challenges that came with building the new one.
Yeah, they had a lot of challenges because the whole reason it was taken out in the first place was that it just didn't meet the expectations of the Imagineers. So what they were able to do this time was actually go back and do the original plan that they had with the modern technology that we had, and it's a wonderful ending to the story.
It's funny, the modern technology that we're using in order to achieve the illusion itself
Hmm.
is actually something that's very simplistic and very much in tune with what they used to do way back then
Yeah,
when they built the mansion and it's out of itself. They just fine-tuned it a bit, if you will.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. The one of the main things that they were saying was that the beauty of Haunted Mansion is that it needs to stay the way it is. So they don't want anything that stands out as something new. It needs to match the state that it was built in the 70s of the original Haunted Mansion, while still giving you the full illusion that you expect from the Haunted Mansion.
Exactly. And it was a blast being able to hear Tony Baxter talk.
Hmm.
It's not all the time that you get to see somebody of that caliber and status talk to you about all these personal stories that he's had.
Very true. Very cool. Very, very cool. So that was pretty much it for the main panels, Gabe. Is
That
that
we
right?
were able to attend.
Yes, we also we got to the Extreme Haunts panel and the 91 Reasons panel, which were very cool. It was 91 Reasons was basically Jeff Tucker's childhood and how he grew up uh, with this haunted mansion. I'm still stuck on the Hatbox Ghost. Haunted house that some guy would do down the street, and this guy, the person that this man turned out to be is just awe-inspiring, just incredibly crazy. So make sure you check out the new episode of 91 Reasons, because it was a live recording of his episode. And
Dude, you got me all excited now. Now I want to
dude.
know.
Dude, it's so crazy. And then if you've listened to the episode Drunks by Jeff Tucker,
Oh yeah, I've listened to all of that.
he kind of did like a live episode of Drunks as well. So that was really neat to see. And here is Don Berg impression, you know. It was really, really cool to actually see it live and see his expressions and his hand motions and everything. So that was cool. Oh, and I got my 91 Reasons button while you were over there in the Halloween Horror Nights panel. And
I was doing my job, but I'm very sad that I wasn't able to get a 91 Reasons button. I'm very sad that I don't have one.
I totally got it. I'm rubbing it in his face, guys.
You're a jerk.
I know, you're super jealous. So, and then on top of that, there was Extreme Haunts, which was just freaking crazy, man. Holy hell. Like,
I'll stay away from those ones. I'm
oh
good.
my gosh.
I ran into Russ McCamey, and
Yeah.
I told him, I really don't want to do your maze. And he tells me, you really don't want to do my maze.
I think that's like his tagline. You do not want to do this. Don't come here.
Yeah, this is tagline. That's why I went up to him and said it.
Yeah. Dude, and you know what? I won't go too in depth because they couldn't tell us much anyways. But they showed us some videos and pictures of like the people going through it. And holy hell. McKimmy Manor, the victim experience, and the blackout or something like that. All three of them came and brought a victim with them that had been through their experience, and the people that have done these mazes or haunts, whatever you want to call them, told the audience what they went through and the life-changing experience that they had doing these extreme haunts. It was just incredible, man. I never thought that eating cockroaches and getting stuff shaved into your head and being dunked into tanks full of moray eels and being put in a black room just wrapped in trash bags, waterboarding, all this stuff changes people's lives. And not only for the worse, for the better. All these victims that had been through that said that they became a better person because of the experience that they had with these haunts, which was just amazing. Really cool.
That's crazy and really weird to me that people actually have life-changing experiences going through these
extreme
things.
Haunts. Totally.
I mean, I never want to go through one of those. I'm okay with not getting things shaved into my head. I'm already losing my hair as it is. I'm okay with not getting my head dumped into a thing of moray eels. I'm okay with not getting wrapped in trash bags. Totally good with all of that not ever happening to me in my entire life.
You don't want to get locked in a ice cream cooler with water filled up to the very brim? You only have like half an inch of breathing room? No?
Yeah, I'm good without that, I think I could say.
You don't want to eat pig intestines and then forced to vomit it up and then eat your vomit?
No, I'm good.
Well,
but
that's what these people do.
Before, because that's in meals, like it's in recipes. So I mean, I guess I could say I've done that.
Hey, you're an extreme kind of guy, man.
Whoa.
But yeah, it was really eye-opening to that whole world. And you know what? I didn't ever think I'd see myself saying this, but I almost kind of want to experience one of them just to see.
You know what? We can make that a special if you want for Park Fanatics. You
maybe
go to one of them and then you come back and share your experience.
Okay, maybe stay tuned, everyone, because this is going to take like 5 years of hyping myself up to get myself to do one of these things, because
I'll give you a cookie.
Dude, you're going to need to give me more than a cookie. Maybe a psychological review would be good. Oh, dude.
I heard they have to do that to you before you even go into one of these things.
Yeah, dude. McKimmy Manor, they not only require that your doctor sign a waiver, you have to have a psychologist sign a waiver for you as well. So make sure that you're mentally stable enough to handle what you're about to go through.
It's because they're like pushing you to the brink and almost half torturing you.
Basically.
It's weird. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a guy that's into that. I don't, I'm not going to, I'm trying to watch my words here.
It's hard to
want to harsh on what
it's hard to
McKinney
describe.
Manor does, or what Blackout does, or what the victim experience does. That that's their own thing. It's their thing that they do. That's it. And I'm just not one of those people who considers that a haunt.
Yeah,
or a
and they
maze
actually touched
or
on
a Halloween experience.
they said they had a whole thing that they talked about on that where it was like, this isn't really a haunt. What would you call that? And they all called it like an immersive, interactive experience where you are the only one that is, on board with it. So it's not really a haunt. That's the word that gets thrown around a lot, but everyone has their own different way of describing these extreme haunts or whatever. It's just kind of a blanket term.
Yeah, and McKamey Manor always says living your own horror
Ugh.
movie.
And it's true. It's so true. Oh my god. Yeah,
You sound like you went through it, man.
I feel like
Jeez.
I did just from those videos, man. It was like intense. I've changed just from the videos. So on top of all that, that pretty much covers all the panels that we saw. But
No, oh yeah, that we saw.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, definitely. There's a few others. The exhibition hall though, the main scare floor was a whole nother world of its own, Gabe. There was a ton of really cool booths, a lot of really cool interactive experiences and exhibits. What was some of your favorites?
I loved the VR stuff. They had
Yeah.
a few different virtual reality setups where you wear the Oculus Rift and you go through this experience. The two that I did was Virtual Screams, and then I forgot Phantom somethings. I completely forgot the name of it.
There's so
But the
many.
first one that I did was the ghost one where you go through like this haunted mansion and things just happen. You're flying all over the place, and it was insane. This is the first time I've ever did Oculus Rift or
Yeah, me too.
any virtual reality anything, and it blew my mind, dude.
It really is crazy what they can come up with, and what it's kind of cool because they don't have any limitations that like a normal haunt or anything physical really would have to deal with. So that's something cool. They can take it to a new level.
Yeah, and then the other one I did was Virtual Screams, and that was kind of like a fear simulator where it did all the phobias,
Yeah,
and they'd be like sharks, darkness, claustrophobia, spiders, and the claustrophobia one was the one that freaked me out because you're in a
dude.
box. You're in a box in this thing, and you're looking around. It looks like you're in a box, and then all the walls start closing in on you really slowly.
Well,
And
they're getting
it
like
made me like
banged
crouch
in.
down, but then I realized I wasn't actually in the box, and then I sat up again. But it freaked me out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you see like the dirt falling in on you. It's like you really feel like you're buried underground. It's crazy, man. So that was something really cool.
I thought all of like the vendors that were there were offering a lot of really cool little goodies. You could actually buy a signed poster of the ScareLA artwork that came on the books that
The
you got when
books, the
you came in.
shirts, yeah, all of that stuff. It was really cool. The artist was there signing everything. We both got ourselves a poster, right?
Correct. We both got ourselves a poster. I mean, you can't really pass that up.
Got ourselves some swag.
I got some 91 Reasons time boxes.
Yeah, me too. Totally got a time box
I
and
got some haunt stuff in my box.
Yeah, that was really cool. All of the little trinkets that you found in the time boxes.
They
Uh,
had Boneyard Effects there, like we had mentioned earlier, doing a whole bunch of demonstrations on their prosthetic makeup,
yeah, they had
and they were just incredible.
demons, angels, Pan's labyrinth, horns, tentacles, anything you could imagine was being put on these people. And it was cool because these people just afterwards just were walking around the con, so you got to see the finished product as well.
Yeah, you kind of every time you walk by them, a new piece has been added, or like more blood or more makeup has been added, and then finally, when you walk by them one more time, they're just completely done and in character.
Yeah, really cool. There was this one guy, kind of a heavier set guy, and by the end of it, they had completely changed his face and put these giant, giant knockers on him. Big old tits. And people were people were
Wait,
walking
was it the
past
big devil guy and he was blue?
Blue Devil guy, totally. And so people were walking past him and like were getting confused because like they would be like, "Oh, hey, sweet thing," because he was topless. He was topless during this
No,
whole
his
experience.
nipples were horns.
Oh, his nipples were horns. That's right.
The only reason why I know, because I didn't see this one, but the same Boneyard Effects was at Monster Palooza, and they did the same makeup on the same guy, except he was red instead of blue.
So people would walk by and say some little snide remark, and he'd go, "Hey, thanks, sweet stuff." Freaked a bunch of guys out, man.
I'm confused.
Yeah, a lot of that. I heard a lot of that. So that was
Then
pretty.
there was a lot of different little setups. They had like this whole building setup that kind of looked like orcs or something.
Yeah, that was cool, and like animatronics and gnomes and whatever you would call it. It was crazy.
Yeah. Then I think some of the coolest things they had was they had one like main haunt and then a whole bunch of mini mazes out in the back area.
Hmm.
So they had the Vault of Darkness, which was called Ward 13 by Evil Twin Studios, and then they had a whole bunch of different other haunts set up, like little examples of what they're doing. So there was like Cursed Devil Swamp, Drunken Devil, Field of Screams, and Fear Station, and then one other one. I forgot what it was. It was like Screamatory something.
Scream terrors, yeah, something like that.
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
that one had a really cool front, and it kind of looked like a graveyard, and their title
Yeah.
was projected up and everything.
Yeah, really cool. It was pretty amazing the A game that these people brought for these tiny little haunts. But it was really impressive, really terrifying.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorites is Drunken Devil. Not necessarily because of the technology, not necessarily because of the sets. It was because the actors in there really brought it. They just really were selling it.
On top of it. Yeah, totally. I actually didn't make it through that one, so I'm going off of what you said on that. That was a lot of people were lining up for that one, so it was really popular all day.
That one was my favorite. The one that had the longest line, though, was Fear Station.
Which
And
is
it may
crazy.
be partly because it was kind of like a story and you had to interact with characters
Mhm.
and all this stuff.
Yeah, it was really trippy because they had a different idea of what a maze was supposed to be. So you walked into this one room and this woman is like, "What are you doing here? You need to get to safety. Just whatever you do, don't touch the monster." And you're like, "Oh crap." So they like usher you into the next room and like this other guy's talking to you and explaining what's happening. And meanwhile, they get some scares in and you're like, "Oh crap." All while before you even realize the whole set behind you changed.
You like double back through the set that you had originally came through.
Yeah, and it totally was like a disorienting sort of thing. Like all of a sudden you've routed back through this same room, but it's totally different.
Yeah, no, I think that was really smart,
Yeah.
especially to kind of save space, especially because they don't have a lot of it.
Yeah, they utilized
Um,
that very well.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with the space that they had and what they did. Um, the bigger one that they had, Ward 13, was a lot of fun. I know, Garrett, you
Cool.
went through it by
Uh-huh.
yourself, and I through with a few of the different friends, which I have a funny story to share with you. I don't know if you heard this, but we were there with my good friends Chase and Megan.
Uh-huh.
They are a married couple, friends of ours, and Megan likes to put her fingers in her ears as like a safety blanket. She's not covering her face, she covers her ears because of the loud. The loud is what scares her. And there's a portion of this maze, I'm not going to reveal everything, I'm just going to tell you this one part, where it's like pitch black. You can't see a single thing.
Yeah, they really
And
do a good job of that.
Nikki and I get through the maze, and we're out and we're waiting for them, and all we hear is
Thunk.
a thud.
Yeah.
And then laughing, and then I hear Chase go, "Megan, did you run into the wall?" And they come out, and
Dude.
Megan's like, "I ran face first into one of the walls because I had my hands on my ears."
Yeah, it could happen, man. That was really pitch black, and it kept getting narrower as you went on. So like this like windy back and forth bit, you couldn't really tell where it was going. You really had to feel along. You have this like flashlight thing with you that's like breaking on purpose and vibrating.
Yeah, and then it was ridiculous. You had to use your hands to like figure out where you're going, and then Megan used her face to do that. But I
Yep.
mean, to each their own.
Yeah, hey, at least she made it through the maze. She may have a bump, but that's a souvenir.
Exactly. She'll be fine. She'll survive.
So aside from all the mini haunts, they also had a couple other cool booths. They had the Mighty Squirm. They make really cool shirts, designs. They had Edgar Allan Poe and Nikolai Tesla on shirts. I stopped by and got myself a shirt there. They had the Cake Countess, which, did you see those? They were like horror cakes.
Yeah, like one had like a bite taken out of it. One had like the bride cut off the groom's head. There was
Yeah.
blood all over it.
One
One
was
looked
like-
like it was made out of skin.
Crazy.
It was quite disgusting.
Yeah, they had a Walking Dead one. They had one where it was like a traditional white wedding cake, but the whole chunk taken out of it was red and bloody and organs pouring out of this traditional nice wedding cake.
It's completely disgusting.
Yeah, it was
I don't
pretty
want that as
disgusting.
my wedding cake.
I wouldn't mind having that. That was pretty cool.
You could have that one. I'll go with a traditional buttercream. Buttercream, buttercream, buttercream. I'll take buttercream.
Do you like buttercream a lot or something? I think you like buttercream.
No,
huh?
no, I was quoting I think it was was it Rush Hour?
Yeah.
They were going to get suits or something, or was that Bad Boys? One of those movies where it was Jeremy Piven, and he's playing this character trying to like dress him up, and he's like, "What color suit do you want?" Let me think. What color suit? And he goes, "Buttercream, buttercream, 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 buttercream."
Hey, make sure you message Gabe with the hashtag buttercream. Hashtag
Oh,
buttercream.
no.
We're getting
I
it
don't want to
trending.
start the hashtag buttercream. One that just sounds disgusting out of context.
Buttercream.
You want some of my buttercream?
Okay, that maybe does sound a little creepy. So that was the cake countess was pretty cool. They had Deadly Grounds, which was a coffee a booth, but they had a whole bunch of like the devil's coffee, and it was the official coffee of hell and all that sort of stuff. Really good coffee.
Did you have some?
I got a little sample later on. It was pretty good. I liked it. Not too dark, not too intense, but still very flavorful. Creature kits, which they made a bunch of like basically faces that you could just peel off a page and slap on your kids. It was like latex and stuff. Really cool because you could just do the whole 9 yards of putting on a full piece of makeup, but just basically in one quick step.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then they also had like little sculptures and things to hang at home and designs. It was really cool. They also had a few new haunts that were smaller or just starting out. They had a few booths there. The bunker experience, which is a new locked experience, lock and key sort of experience. It's going to be a year-round thing. It's in Pasadena, and they are just starting out. It should be really cool. I'm really looking forward to trying that out. And then also Reign of Terror Haunted House, which is out in Ventura. They were gracious enough to invite us out there to review that one. So we will probably be checking them out, honestly. Reign of Terror Haunted House out in Ventura. I'm really looking forward to that.
100% down. Reign of Terror. Expect the park fanatics over there to review your haunt.
We gonna do it. We gonna show up. You just wait.
Do it.
Oh yeah. And yeah, there was a ton of other booths, a ton of other vendors that we visited and saw, but how could we fit this all in one episode of the Park Fanatics?
And don't forget the Decade Brigade doing their slideshow. It was awesome, and they allowed me to take a picture with all of them. It was just so cool. I'm pretty sure you guys saw it on Twitter already.
Really cool. They brought their A game for this convention, man.
It was intense.
Yeah, they had like a limbo thing where they were sliding underneath and doing cool tricks before.
Only the people with no butt could do it because everyone has a butt.
Totally.
Their butt would just knock the stick over because you can't get that low to the ground.
Nope, not especially as a man. You got some limits there. So it was definitely a cool show overall. They were doing jumps over each other and sliding between each other's legs and just really cool stuff.
No, and as an overall, I think ScareLA out of 10 screams, or rather, let's do 10 pumpkins because they had a gigantic pumpkin in front of the place, a gigantic inflatable pumpkin to welcome you into the con. Out of 10 pumpkins, I give it a good 8.5 pumpkins, and the only reason why is because I think that there were some moments that the organization was
crowd
kind
control
of missing, but I mean that happens normally when you have these massive crowds that are unruly and do whatever the hell they want. And I have to give props to all the volunteers that worked this event because they went through it all professionally. They did a good job with as much as they could with the crowd control, and said the right things and did the right things. And I think they did all a really good job of picking the right people to handle it.
Totally. Yeah, the people running this were doing their absolute best, and you could really see that that was happening. And even though there was a couple hiccups with the crowds, and they might have left us to cook out in the sun for a good 2 or 3 hours before they let us in, with those little things that we could overlook on the convention, I'd definitely say that I'd give it like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10, just for the sheer content. Perfect content.
Oh no, yeah, and shout out to TPA, Rick, and everyone else who made this event possible.
Rick
For
and
all of us
Johanna.
dorks, yeah, everybody who's behind the scenes of this con. Thank you from the Park Fanatics for allowing us dorks to have this amazing time in the summer and experiencing Halloween. And what Rick said at the very beginning of the con was correct. ScareLA is your gateway drug to Halloween. It's true.
It is. It's true. It's the start of the season. We used to have to wait until September before we even saw anything Halloween, but now we got this wonderful convention at the end of summer to get us all hyped up for Halloween.
And Pasadena was the perfect place to do it. It was much larger,
Dude,
better,
yeah.
badder, everything you can think of and more.
That was an awesome convention center. I'd love to say, give a little shout out to the Pasadena Convention Center, their staff, and their just location is just so great. It was a blast. It really was.
Yeah, no, I think it was a much needed move, especially with the size of what this thing is becoming.
Huge. Yeah.
And popularity that this thing is becoming. So I'm glad that they were able to move it to somewhere nicer and bigger and easier to access, and didn't have to go up a freight elevator in order to get to the floor that you needed to get to.
That's definitely a nice step up. So
I
thanks to all
think
you guys.
that covers about everything that we wanted to talk about today, right?
Yeah, definitely. We got a lot of people to thank in this episode, so we better start getting to it. We already said our thanks to the wonderful staff and volunteers of ScareLA and Rick and Johanna, of course.
I give you guys a round of applause for a great show.
Round of applause. We also want to thank the panelists, Knott's, Dark Harbor, Halloween Horror Nights, all those people for showing up and revealing some of their information. That was, what made the event for sure. So
I got
thanks,
to give
guys.
Chris Williams one of our Park Fanatic buttons. And
Yeah! Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw so many people repping our buttons this weekend. It was so cool.
Thanks for repping our buttons, everyone who
Yeah.
took a button from us. Thank you.
Yeah, they're gone, by the way. The Haunt Fanatic buttons are gone.
Fresh out of Haunt Fanatics, we only got the regular ones, which are just as good and just as cool.
True, but if you got yourself a Haunt Fanatic pin, then you definitely find yourself lucky, because they are absolutely out. We also want to thank all the vendors in the booths that we just talked about, because some of them were coming from across the country. Really just great that they showed up to share their products and experience with us.
And as I said, everyone was just so nice and so cool, and you just wanted to talk about what they were bringing and wanted to hear what we wanted to talk about too, So everyone was just so cool.
Totally. We also want to say thank you to Season Pass. We got to meet Doug Barnes this weekend, and
Robert Coker as well.
We want to say thank you to you guys, because they were just so kind, so nice, just genuinely good-hearted people.
Yeah, and you guys already know that we've said multiple times that they're the reason why we kind of started our thing in the first place.
Yeah,
exactly. One of the shows that we listened to that gave us the inspiration.
Totally. So thank you for that. We also want to, just going down the list of the people we ran into, Knott's Network, SoCal Horror, Disney Coast to Coast, Jeff and Patrick from Disney Coast to Coast. Wonderful seeing you guys. Eric O from USH Today. Good seeing you, man. And of course the whole group at Jeff Tucker's booth and his wonderful family. Aren't they cool?
They were super nice. Anytime they walked by me, they noticed me. We're just like, "Hi, how are you? What's going on?" I was like, "You guys are cool."
Really, I mean, what a diverse family, man. I wish my family wasn't so cut and dry. It makes my family look boring. Oh, just such cool people, such genuine, awesome people. So here's out to Austin Luna and the wonderful family of Jeff Tucker and his wife, of course. And of course, we did want to thank our fans, all the people out there that have been supporting us.
We gotta thank the fans. the ones we're doing this for in the first place.
So, as you guys may know, we have been running a little sweepstakes. Would you?
Competition sweepstakes, if you will. I'm in a scary voice now because it's getting into Halloween season.
You sound more like Gilbert Gottfried more than anything. If I really did say so, I'd say you sounded more like Gilbert Gottfried.
You sound a little bit like an old grandma to me, if I'm just saying so. I sound like Gilbert Gottfried if I had a cold or
Gilbert Gottfried's
sinus
grandma.
infection or something. I make Garrett crack up. It's always the best when I actually get him.
It's late. We're exhausted, man. This is So, to the people that have retweeted our tweets about the Park Fanatic buttons, we have the breaking news, the winners of our contest out there. Are you ready? Can you give me a drum roll, Gabe? Our winners for the 2015 ScareLA competition are Coaster Chit Chat, Dr. Bacon, and Chris. Just Chris. His name's just Chris.
Just Chris?
Just
Nothing
Chris.
more? Chris.
I have his username here. It's at a slice of ice, not life.
Ooh.
Ice. So a slice of life, ice. Damn it, I'm mixing. I always
You
mix up
ruined it.
Oh, damn it. Chris, a slice of ice. Follow him on Twitter. Dr. Bacon, at the Cheesy Turtle. You guys know him. He's one of our super fans. And Coaster Chit Chat, thank you guys so much for retweeting us. Make sure that you direct message us and send us your addresses, because then we will send you not only some Park Fanatic buttons, but a little bit of some ScareLA swag as well. And a huge shout out to our number one fan, Gabe. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Neo!
So, Neo, we just want to say thank you for all your wonderful, awesome support. And we were so sad that you couldn't make it out to the convention. We really wanted to see you there.
We had your buttons in hand waiting for you to show up, and we had tears dropping on them because you were not there.
Totally. And he also retweeted all of our retweets that we asked. So we have to give him a little bit of a thank you too, but we're going to put him up on a pedestal as our number one haunt fanatic for the week. Thank you so much, Neo. You make sure that you keep an eye out, because we're sending you something extra special in the mail. So
Sounds great, man. I mean, we have the people that we thanked.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving out the swag. We talked about ScareLA. I think that's all we have for today, right?
yeah, man. Hey, don't forget, you also have to check out Extended Q and their new D23 episode for next week's convention.
Yes, D23 is coming up, and Extended Q is going to have all of your D23 needs, coverage, information. Make sure to tune in to them. They're at Extended Q, and you can find them on iTunes under Extended Q.
Of course.
Go listen to them. Those guys rock.
Yeah, we love our friends over Extended Q. They're actually coming out next week. I'm going to be getting a little chance to hang out with them. We're going to go to Knott's when they're finished with D23. So,
Woo!
yeah, I'm excited to hang out with them, man. This is going to be cool.
Take them on Ghost Rider. Give them a warm welcome.
Yeah, man, that's a way to wake you up, isn't it? So make sure you check them for the D23 coverage. They're going to be your number one source for podcast news about D23. And about after that, we pretty much just have to touch on the next episode, Gabe. We have another episode coming up.
What? I know we got a ton of roller coaster news.
Roller coaster news. Yeah, I'm going to apologize to the Coaster Fanatics now. We've been kind of Halloween centric lately, so we're going to make sure.
It happens around this time.
It does, it's understandable, right? So next episode, episode 6, we're going to release this in a week, so you don't have to wait 2 whole weeks for the Park Fanatics to release an episode. This one's coming out in 1 week, and it's going to be incredibly coaster heavy. We got Storm Chaser over at Kentucky Kingdom.
Lightning Rod?
Lightning Rod, of course, man. How crazy is that? The world's first launched wooden coaster.
What?
And then, of course, the new leaked information from Cedar Point about Val Raven and their newest drop coaster. Oh, it looks cool too. I mean, we'll go into depth next week, but if you check online, you can see the new layout and the model that they made for it looks so cool. So check back next week.
Follow us on Twitter at Park Fanatic for more information regarding when we're going to be dropping episodes for the next episode and in the future. Follow us on Facebook. We're at Park Fanatics on Facebook. We have that page on there. Like that all you can.
Please.
And you can email us anything that you want. Email us.
Parkfanatics@gmail.com.
Park Fanatic. Is it Park Fanatic?
Parkfanatic
gmail.com?
at gmail.com. Yeah.
Boom. Email us. Tell us what you think of the show. Honestly, we want to hear from you guys. Want to hear what you think of the show? Tell us what you want to hear. We love to talk to people and hear what they have to think.
And if you guys interact with us and support us, we will support you. We'll give you shout-outs on the show. We'll send you swag from events. Hey, we could even send you some buttons. So keep yourself tuned in. Subscribe on iTunes, and make sure you check out episode 6 next Sunday.
Leave us a nice review if you could too on iTunes. It really
Please.
helps the show out. It allows us to kind of go up there in the rankings, and people get to see us, and we get out there a little bit more, and we get a little bit more popular each time.
Yes, please leave us those reviews. We really need them. We're up to 14 now, Gabe. High five.
Woo!
Woo!
So, Garrett, can you tell them where to follow you at?
I am at the Coaster Roll. And Gabe, where can they find you at?
I'm at Lakers793 on Twitter.
Very cool. Very cool. Follow us. And
And I
Gabe,
think that wraps everything up.
so what does that mean, Gabe? Does that mean we need to do something?
Yes, it does. Remember, everybody, don't just be a fan.
Be a fanatic.
Ah!